All right, let's go Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. What's the line here? Ravens by 6 against the Browns. Rematch from week 2, I believe it was. And week 2, Ravens won, and it was P.J. Walker game.
Yeah, so this
Watson
is 6.
got hurt on opening night.
This is 6 even with Watson.
Am I in the right? What week was it? Sorry, it was week 4. My gosh. 28-3, the Ravens won in the last matchup.
Yeah, but this is 6 even with Deshaun Watson as the QB. Is that what we're...
I mean, you put 6 into the...
6 is the correct line. I'm just like...
I don't think Watson's been hurt.
That's what
I apologize. Let me reset this whole thing. This was DTR got the start. It was kind of last minute. Dorian Thompson-Robinson got the start. He had 3 actual interceptions, 5 turnover-worthy plays, sacked 4 times, PFF grade of 38.2. That's what happened back in week 4. There was a few short fields for the Ravens. I think they had 1 really long drive in there as well. And this was where the Browns had their defense still has great numbers, but the Browns had ridiculous numbers defensively through 3 weeks. Ravens were the first team to have a little bit of success against them.
Deshaun Watson not on the injury report for the first time
back in
forever.
But it's Baltimore at home where they have been whooping teams, particularly NFC teams like the Lions and the Seahawks.
The Browns probably still have the best defense in the NFL, and Deshaun Watson, for whatever he's been in Cleveland, is a notable step forward at the quarterback position from DTR or PJ.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, Watson's finally playing a little bit better. I mean, we coming into the season, 2 things we said that haven't gone exactly as is, but we said if Watson plays 75 PFF grade type of football, the Browns will be much better. What we didn't know is that the Browns' defense would be this as good as they are, and so I think that's true even more today than it was back in August when we said that. Because if the Browns' defense keeps it up, their pass rush has been relentless. They play more man coverage than any team in the league, and they make QBs have to make difficult throws against that D. And if Watson can build on last week, they're a tough team. 2
ends of the head coach speak spectrum here. On the one hand, you've got Arthur Smith giving a 5-minute diatribe to explain why Bijan Robinson isn't getting the ball in the red zone. I watched all 5 minutes, and I still don't know what the answer is. On the other hand, you've got Kevin Stefanski, when asked about Deshaun Watson's health, simply replied, "He's good." That's it. Done. Answered. Next.
He also said he's going to start in a game where he had no chance of starting.
Whatever.
That's cool, though.
He's back. He's back and he's ready, and he's not PJ. That's the important thing.
Yeah, it makes for one of the more intriguing games in the NFL this week. You always get that Myles Garrett versus Ronnie Stanley matchup at left tackle. Ravens' offensive line was outstanding last week against Seattle. That's going to be one of the matchups of the week. Baltimore's offensive line against this Cleveland defensive front.
Other than that one play where Stanley got ruined by
probably 2 plays, but
Leonard Williams
and Boye Mafe. 2 plays.
Okay, yeah.
I think, right, total?
Yeah.
But other than that, they were great. Ravens defense also looking outstanding. Yeah, I mean, I love it. Feels like a lot of the moves that we really liked from Baltimore that we thought were shrewd through the years are just coming true here. Center Tyler Linderbaum and Kyle Hamilton in the first round a couple years ago when they traded Marquise Brown. Trading for Roquan Smith, finding something in his game that said he's going to fit better in Baltimore than he did in Chicago, and that's been true. A lot of those things are really starting to pay off, I think, here for the Ravens.
Yeah, and Geno Stone leading the league in interceptions, even if it is a Jarius Byrd type season where the ball is just being magnetized in his direction, it's still happening. Like, it doesn't matter why it's happening. The fact that it's happening is the important part for them.
Yeah, that's huge. And then going back to the Watson thing, 78.5 grade last week against Arizona. I apologize, I was wrong I misspoke. I read the comments. I misspoke on Monday. And I said that Watson went 1 for 5 with 2 interceptions against the Colts in that little start that he had that lasted 5 dropbacks. He had 2 turnover-worthy plays, not 2 interceptions, right? So sometimes I look at the right stat and not the real stat.
What percentage of this show is now just you correcting previous incorrect things you said?
5%.
Okay.
Give or take.
All right.
I could be wrong about that, though. And I can adjust
we
on
can
the
correct it on Monday.
Yeah, I'll correct it. Yeah. That'll be part of the 5%.
Great. Perfect.
But Watson's last 2 starts where he started and finished, week 3 against Tennessee, 27 of 33, 74.6 grade. He was good other than the play that he threw the ball backwards that game.
That wasn't great.
Right? And then last week against Arizona, his 2 highest grades. Let me make sure I don't misspeak here. I believe, let me go back to 2022. Yes, those are his 2 highest grades as Browns quarterback.
Perfect. And they've come
in his last 2 starts, games in which he started and finished.
Right. They've come in essentially his last 2 healthy starts, if
Correct.
we assume that the Week 7 game, where he lasted 5 dropbacks and broke himself again, was probably one he shouldn't have been out for.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
One matchup I always highlight when the Ravens and Browns play each other is JOK, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And with how often the Browns like to play man coverage relative to the rest of the league, JOK in a spy-type situation with Lamar Jackson. I don't know if that's a part of the game plan or not, but it would be for me because JOK can move and the Browns can play that man coverage, and I think it's going to be a great matchup on that side of the ball.
The only receiver the Browns have grading well is Amari Cooper this year.
Yeah.
So everybody else has a receiving grade of in the 50s or 40s. One of them was traded away. And it's just Amari Cooper, effectively.
Cooper's mostly been QB-proof, whether it was DTR or P.J. Walker. That's where the big plays went.
And that's not factoring in David Njoku, by the way. He would be the other one grading well, but at tight end.
Yeah. Well, Njoku against another matchup, too, Kyle Hamilton, has a 90 grade when covering tight ends this year.
Tight end eraser?
He's in that ballpark there, right? Kyle Hamilton's making some big plays against tight ends, so you got Hamilton against Njoku as another matchup to watch. A lot of fun matchups in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the point I was making, though, is that Cleveland have a very defined, like, there are 2, maybe 3 people you need to be concerned about as a defense. Like, if you can guard Amari Cooper, then guard David Njoku, and then just pay attention to Kareem Hunt out of the backfield, you're set. Because nobody else is a threat, apparently, at this so far this year. Like, their game plan on defense should be, we're going to force Elijah Moore to carry this offense as a receiver because there's no evidence so far that he can do that.
This is just from a storyline perspective. I used to say this about Cousins. When they paid a lot of money in Minnesota to bring Cousins in, and I said, "This is the game, right? This is it for Watson. This is why you brought Deshaun Watson in. This is why
you drop-kicked Baker Mayfield out of the building to bring Deshaun Watson in, and everything that went along with that. Like, this is why. If you can't do it now, what do you do?
And really, it's the next 2 weeks. It's Ravens and Steelers, the next 2 weeks, in a division where everybody's 5-3 or better. You've got the Jags in a few weeks as well, the Texans, the Jets, the Bengals, the last game of the season. Like, this is the stretch. Why you took the PR hit that you took in Cleveland. You were willing to suck that up for whatever it's worth to bring in Deshaun Watson because this was supposed to get you over the hump as a team. And I think the Browns, as an organization, have done a really nice job building this team. That's why they're 5-3 despite the quarterback situation this year. This is the game. Massive game. Deshaun Watson. Can he put his best foot forward here against the Ravens, who are 7-2 and might be the best all-around team in the AFC right now. So
in the NFL.
Or in the NFL. So where are you going in this game? Baltimore favored by 6.
I'm going with Cleveland. I buy that defense generally, and I think that Deshaun Watson, a quarterback, is just a different proposition for them than either DTR or PJ.
I'm also taking Cleveland. I've agreed
6
with
points
you
a lot.
I know it feels like a lot for a team. I think this game
versus the best defense in the NFL in a year where points are down. I mean, that's a lot.
The last 2 games, though, Baltimore at home.
Sure.
Let me grab those. What was it? 37-3 and 38-6.
Yeah.
Over the last 2 home games against
good teams,
against good NFC teams.
Right.
Which might, I don't know, maybe that's an NFC thing.